3 winter roses, pink and pretty. I've cut the roses back, get them fertilized, and in a couple of months we'll start having lots and lots of spring roses. Because as I've mentioned before, December and January, winter here, February starts spring. So I'm going to guess by March that we'll have lots of roses. But I'm thinking about roses because the mind doesn't turn loose of one topic just because you think you're through with it. Other things come to mind. When Roy was born, Donna had such a bad time, I knew, hey, Dad, you'd better take something nice to that hospital room. Let that lady know that you appreciate what she's gone through in delivering our son. So I went to the florist shop, and they had various things that one might choose. Being a farmer, you know, and being a conservative, I thought, why not get something that might keep on giving? And sure enough, when I mentioned that, the lady said, just a minute. And she went back and brought out some little pots, about probably 6-inch pots, with miniature roses in them, miniature vines and blooms on them. And the pink one was the one that was in full bloom. I said, how much? And boy, it was a lot in terms of our budget, but I said, that's what I want. And she said, and it's a boy? Yes. She said, well, and she rummaged around and came out with 2 of the tiniest little old boxing gloves that you ever saw in your life, and hung them on one of the lamps. Made a very nice thing. Well, the day came that she came home. The rose bush came home too, and it was in our house and on our little sunny side of the street window, you know, for a long time on a little pedestal table of some sort. When we moved to the chicken coop, it went with us. I got recalled for the Army. It went home with Donna and by then the 2 kids to Douglas, Kansas, to the farm, and did well there. And I'm sure it stayed there when Donna and the kids came over to Beppu, Japan. Well, anyway, when I got back from Korea, and I don't think it went down to Peabody with us, Nashville, Tennessee, but when we went to Coates, Kansas, it went with us. And when we went from Coates, Kansas to Hartner, Kansas, it went with us. And it bloomed every year. Oh, it was a beauty of a thing. Of course, it had grown. And I'd had to repot it a time or two to get a bigger pot. It went from 6 inches to something a little bigger to one then that was, I don't know, maybe a 10 or 12 inch. And it did well. It did well at Hartner. But I don't know. I don't know if it was in the move to Elkhart that something happened and we lost it, or it got broken up. I don't know. I can't remember. But I don't remember it ever being at Elkhart. And I do remember that when we were aware we didn't have it, we were both pretty blue about it. And I think maybe we called back to see if anybody, you know, maybe had it and we could retrieve it back there at Hartner. No luck. But what a beautiful thing. And now I really, really like all of our flowers. I guess I'm more of a gardener than a lawn man. Got those pink roses. Those happen to be off of a climbing rose tree, bush. We've got red ones. We've got purple ones. Don't have any white ones. But we must have 1, 2, 3. Oh, and we've had rose trees. I don't know if you've even heard of a rose tree, but that's where they do a graft. You know, they use the wild rose roots for almost all domesticated roses, and then graft the others on them. And the rose tree, they use a shaft off of a climber. They trail it to get it straight, and then they graft these others on top. So we had one of those that you look right out our bedroom window and see. But anyway, we like roses, and a lot of it goes back to that tiny little miniature rose honoring my wife, my bride, my little mother, when she had our first son.